everybody, my name is Robert Morgan and we're talking again about the history of the Coptic Church and the people of Egypt. We have reached we were talking last time about the 3rd century and what happened in the 3rd century of persecutions at the hand of Diocletian Caesar, Galerius Caesar and Maximinus Caesar. And how the Christian community in Egypt suffered greatly at their hands. They ruled combinedly from 284 to 303 AD. Actually, it was estimated during the first few years, close to 140,000 Christians were martyred in Egypt at their hands. By the end of this wave of persecution, which lasted about 10 years, close to 1 million Christians were martyred in Egypt. The counts of Christians actually dwindled down greatly from the original, or the population in general in Egypt dwindled down from the 20 million that was estimated at the time in Alexandria in Egypt to a mere 12 million only. Christianity was widely persecuted. That would like if you were labeled as a Christian, that would just earn you a free passage to prison, or to get thrown in the lion pit, or to gladiators, or to be killed in the arena, or to be tortured and executed in prison. The least that could happen to you. But with God's will, this period of persecution ended at 303. We adopted our calendar called Calendar of the Martyrs for our Coptic Church since the year 284, since the start of Diocletian and the persecution, the huge wave of persecution for Christians in Egypt. During that time also, around 300 AD, Pope Peter I was a Pope of Egypt. He was imprisoned, persecuted, and he was actually the only Pope at the time that was executed or martyred by the sword. And he asked God at the time to not permit it to happen to any of the popes of Egypt ever again, and to end the persecution for the Egyptians at the time. Actually, after that huge wave of persecution and the age of the martyrs, God answered his prayers, and actually the Emperor of Rome adopted Christianity with the change of the Emperor. Emperor Constantine I came to power in the early 300s, after the year 303. Emperor Constantine actually started in the year 306 his rule. He continued to the year 337 as Emperor of Rome, or the Roman Empire. He was the first emperor to become Christian, to adopt the Christian faith. He saw it as a sign, a huge cross in the heavens, and he adopted the cross as a sign on all the shields and all the armor of his soldiers. He won his battles using this sign, and with the grace of God, he became the first Christian emperor to adopt the Christian faith, and to elevate the Christians from their really bad state that they were suffering under for all these years. His mother, Empress Helena, also became a Christian. She helped a lot to spread Christianity throughout the empire. Churches were built freely. The Christian religion became the actual official religion of the empire at the time. But always there is a way for the devil to bring down the church, and at the same time where there is no persecution and no intimidation to the Christians, there's also heresies start in the church. Arianism at the hand of Arius, also a priest in Alexandria. He was a well-known priest with a huge number of followers, started in Alexandria to preach his twisted beliefs about the divinity of the Lord. His ideas that Jesus was not, or the Son was not equivalent to the Father, this like demoting Christ to just a prophet, and a lot of people followed him, and a lot of people strayed away from the true faith and became Arian in religion, up to many clergy and even emperors adopted the Arian heresy. But there was a savior for the true orthodoxy, Saint Athanasius, the apostolic. He's called the apostolic because he kept the faith. He was the 20th Pope of Alexandria. At the time, he was just a deacon with Pope. He went to defend the faith at the Council of Nicaea. He becoming Pope of Egypt at 328 to 373 of the years, and he defended the faith against the Arian heresy at Council of Nicaea, and he convinced the emperors at the time and the clergy to not stray away from the true faith of Christianity. Continuing the story of Saint Athanasius, the Apostolic, the 20th Pope of Egypt, he was actually persecuted greatly by the Arian emperors at the time, as following Constantine I, his sons Julian and Jovian and Constantius became Arians. They were swayed by the Arian heresy that was spread by Arius, who spread the heresy that Jesus was not the Son of God and he was just a mere prophet. So all these emperors were swayed by his heresy. A lot of clergy and a lot of laymen became Arian, and it was posing a great threat to the Christian world at the time and orthodoxy as we know it today. Saint Athanasius spent a lot of time in prison and running away from his persecutors and keeping the faith, spreading the true faith, consecrating true followers of Christ, and making churches. For most of the time, he was also thrown in prison many times, persecuted and abused for his faith. At the hands of the emperors that were Arian at the time, he had to defend the faith against the Arians at many ecumenical councils, the most known of which is the Council of Nicaea, which he truly proved to the Church Fathers that the fallacy of Arius's ideas and his beliefs. At the time also, Egypt was still flourishing with Christianity and very strong in its faith. It spread the monasticism and the monastic ideas that was founded by Saint Anthony the Great, basically all over the known world at the time, and monasticism spread widely and greatly. Apart from the strife that was caused by the breaking of the church because of the heresies that occurred because of Arius and his heresies, there was no great persecution at the time of Pope Athanasius solely for the fight with the heresies that occurred. The Second Ecumenical Council was also at the same time, happened after that time, and we see that paganism was declining greatly in Egypt and throughout the known world due to basically the spread of Christianity, that most of the pagans that lived at the time adopted the Christian faith and became Christian and helped spread the faith of Christianity all over the known world. And we will continue with the history of Egypt the next time.